couple of years ago, we did a video called Death Starts in the Feet, and it went viral, which was really exciting. But I had a comment from one member that said, the death starts in the feet sounds a little negative. What if you say life starts in the feet? And I have to say, I just loved that. I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive again into the feet, and to the point where when we're doing fascia decompression in the feet, we're absolutely doing that. We're bringing life back into the body. So first of all, I just want to share why we started talking about death starts in the feet. When we're talking about fascia decompression, what it really comes down to is improving flow to all cells in the body, making sure that every single cell is properly fed with oxygen, as well as properly cleaned so that we're not stagnant. And the feet tend to be the first area of the body that becomes stagnant and starving, cold and frozen and dehydrated. And the reason is they are the furthest from your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is your body's engine that moves the fluids throughout. So as we start going through time and we start deepening the patterning of the fascia as we age, we start decreasing blood and oxygen flow to the feet, as well as to the hands and the head and everywhere. But again, the feet are the first things, because they're the furthest from this engine, to really be impacted by a lack of circulation. What we want to do is we want to optimize improving blood and oxygen flow to the cells in the feet so that we can bring life back into them, bringing back that spring in your step. Now, if you've been following me, I know all of you have heard me saying over and over again to work between the toes. So I actually have a cord here or a string, because yes, you can use your fingers to work between the toes, even a pencil, but you can also get a cord. This is just a rope actually from a pair of my shorts, but it works perfectly because I can basically put it right between each toe. I can pull, I can hold for 3 minutes. I can do this while I'm watching a TV show. And after I work all of the toes, it's amazing how much different my feet feel. We're getting life into the area. The toes are the eyes of the feet. So if you look down at your toes and you try to spread them, we want them all to be able to spread equally and to be able to grip the floor with intention. But because of the way that we pattern, one foot typically acts as a flat tire. It draws away from the body. The opposite side of the body anchors to stop us from tipping, but this creates tensions and twisting up the chain, impacting everything. So when we can repattern the toes and bring them into the equation of how we stand and how we walk, it changes our gait. And one of the biggest things is we want to be able to dorsiflex properly. So dorsiflexion means lifting that foot up so that we can place the heel and we can take a proper step. But what happens over time as we start patterning into being dominant on one side, the tibia bone, this big shin bone, it starts to migrate, and it will tend to migrate forward and twist oftentimes to the right, drawing the left foot into that equation, and then the left foot anchors. So if you look at yourself in the mirror, quite likely you're going to see your right foot splaying away from your body. Now, this is generalization. There's always exceptions to the rule, but typically that will happen, and then that left foot anchors. And if you look down and you notice the distance from your tibia to the tip of your toe, you're going to notice that one foot looks a little bit shorter. And if you try to pull that foot up, you'll also notice that one foot probably struggles more to dorsiflex. So when we're walking, what's happening is we're continually getting pulled into this twisting action, and that patterns our fascia up the chain. So I'm going to share with you an exercise that you can do beyond working between the toes that will really help to repattern your ankles so that you can actually walk with proper dorsiflexion. And you can do it seated or standing. So I'm going to show you seated first. Simply what you do, have one foot in front and then take the heel of the other foot and place it somewhere right in front of that ankle. Just place it right down. And then you can even lean forward and put a little bit of your body weight on your arms and your legs here just to apply a little bit more pressure. Now, for some people, this alone might be more than enough sensation. When you're in position, you want to breathe through your nose, and your breath is your guide. So if you're feeling so much pain that it's causing your breath to be stressed, that's your body saying this is too intense. But as long as you're breathing in that relaxed way, no matter what you're feeling, you're going to be sending that blood and oxygen flow to this area to create a melting of those adhesions and an improvement in that flow. Now from here, you might even be able to slowly lift the toes up. You might even be able to lift the ball of the foot up a little bit and create a little bit of movement through here. So if you spend 3 minutes working both feet in this way, you're going to start to melt the adhesions in this part of your ankle, right at the front of that ankle joint, that are blocking the ability for you to walk most effectively. Now, I'm going to show it to you standing as well. If you do this standing, it will definitely be deeper. So you want to either be supporting yourself at a counter or the back of a chair. Again, simply place one foot and then put the heel of that other foot right on top. And take a few moments to just put that pressure with the heel into the top of the foot. And believe me, you can get quite a bit of sensation just by doing this alone. So this might be all that you need to do. And then again, focus on that full diaphragmatic breath. Inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 6. Now, if you want to even go a little bit deeper, you can start bending that left knee and then slowly straightening it. This is going to help with that dorsiflexion. We're going to be getting more range in that ankle joint. And again, 3 to 5 minutes is a really good time frame to do this, to create some really positive changes. After you finish one foot, then you want to do the other foot. And you'll likely notice one foot has a lot more pain sensation than the other foot because we are anything but symmetrical. So if you do this on both feet and you also work between the toes every single day, within 1 week, within actually probably 3 days, you're going to really start to notice a change in how you walk and how you stand. If you have things like chronic low back pain, hip pain, knee issues, even issues with your shoulders or your head, so much is coming from the feet. You may start to feel changes all the way up the chain from doing this work. Making your feet a daily focus and practice will truly bring life not only back into the feet, but back into your entire body. Because once your feet have energy and you start walking with that spring in your step, you start to pattern that up the body, and now we're creating space and optimal alignment. Give this a try. I would love to hear how you feel on the other side of 1 week. If you notice any changes, good or bad, let us know in the comments below.